Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
And I'm Shanna Christmas.
Shauna's new to Keith and the Girl, and you're going to love her already. Your new stand up album, Shauna, Highly Intelligent, your new special that's coming out, I don't want to brag. I got an early copy. Is so fucking good. It's so hilarious and it's so deep. And we'll get into this stuff, but
Oh,
I hope you're proud of it. I love it.
I am. Thank you for saying that. It's a bit weird hearing feedback from people who don't know me and don't have to kiss my butt. So,
Right.
I am very proud of it. I'm actually kind of scared for people to see it. So this helps when
You
people
should be,
say
you
that.
should, yeah, you should be proud. Have you seen it back? Like, did somebody do any editing and you saw it back? Is that nerve wracking?
Yeah, that was part of the whole process because I self-produced it. So, I got we shot it. Then I got his version of what he wanted, and then I was back in there going, take this out, put this in, move this around, or whatever. So yeah, I watched it a bunch of times. I'm actually I don't want to look at it anymore.
Sure, of course, of course. It's great.
Oh,
It's great. How long have you been doing stand
thanks.
up?
It'll be 12 years this November.
12 years this November. Well,
Yeah.
you've put in your time and you know your stuff. In fact, just to be clear, if I didn't care for your album, I'd be like, "Oh, look at that! I hope you're proud." Right? That's a nice thing, is it?
You see it like that? Oh yeah, I hope you're proud of yourself, you
Well, not with that
jerk.
attitude, but I'm like, "Oh, your album, fuck yeah, right?"
Yeah,
But
you did
this one I
it.
really like. Let me
Thank
mention
you.
this real quick. I had just the other day. I was speaking of comedians. First of all, I went and saw my friend Adam Brown. I'm leaving for Charlotte the end of this month, so catching up with some pals. And he has the cutest little dog. Probably different parts of something. The ones that have health struggles fast, but they're so fucking cute that who cares?
Oh,
So yeah, so I'm like, oh, look at this adorable fucking dog, and it reminded me of the comic Christian Finnegan.
I do.
He so one year, and it's his wife's idea. They had two rescue dogs. And Christian's trying to say that dog was prettier than my dog, Hugsy Malone, which by the way, literally got stopped on the street by newspaper reporters trying to take
Oh.
pictures. Okay, that doesn't have to be a rescue dog. Now, act like you like rescue dogs for whatever fucking reason. You're a superhero, sure. Mine came from a breeder, but
Oh.
don't act like this fucking mud is pretty. Well, anyway, one Christmas, and again, I believe it was Cambry, the wife, that sent these out. But is a Christmas is it was a Christmas card in an envelope by itself, not how the families do it, not if the dogs graduated daycare, just a picture of him, the wife, and two dogs. You can see it on YouTube, but I'll put the picture at keithandthegirl.com. It looks like he's strangling one of the dogs. He does not look like he wants to be there. And him being a ball busting comic, I just think it's funny that for the last however many years, I've had this on my fridge.
It looks like the photo they show in like Dateline after someone gets murdered.
Right.
Just
It's like,
like, look
oh, the
how
clues
he's
were there.
yeah, look how he's holding that dog.
And so I bring up Charlotte because I have my new piece of art that I'm going to put around, and I just bought a 4x6 frame. I'm going to frame this. Maybe I'll put it on my bedside table. Maybe I'll put it when you come in the house. But I don't know why you send this. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with it. So now I'm keeping it forever, and everybody gets to see it.
Yay!
She should be proud. That's what I'm saying.
He
She
should be proud.
right. Who's prettier, that or Hugsy? Give me a goddamn break. So on Instagram, follow Shanna Christmas. That's right, Christmas, of course.
Yeah.
By the way, before I get to your comedy and the funny things you put on Instagram,
Oh.
ooh, just a couple thirst traps. No one minds. Oh, is it just my
Hey!
ass? Hey, hey, here I'm doing my hip in that sexy way, but I put my tongue out. We're just having fun.
Ow!
In case you think I'm being too much, just playing. But if you don't think I'm being too much, hit me up. Good for you. What responses do you get? Like,
By the way,
does
none
it
of
work
those
out?
work. No, no, doesn't
No.
do a damn thing.
Damn.
It's really unfortunate. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, to be honest. I don't know.
As new friends, if I saw a picture like that, I would think I couldn't hit heart. But some people say you do. That's your friend. They did it. They have an attractive body, hit hard. Wouldn't that be
Mm,
weird though? I find it'd be weird. I wouldn't do it.
yeah, I guess so. There's kind of this interesting middle ground where it's like, well, I don't want people to think that I think she's cute in that way,
I see. Right.
but I don't want to be a hater.
But more I don't. Right. But more I would worry what like you thought. And it's like, did he? He's hitting hard, and I just did a show with him. And men are creeps. Would your brain
Mm,
go that way?
My brain wouldn't go that way. I think if you
Okay,
were in my DMs, that'd be different. But
sure.
just liking a post, I don't
All
think
right.
it's that deep.
Okay, 1 second. And heart. Okay, we're good.
Yes.
It's just funny of old things. It's a heart, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
I see on Instagram, the first edition of the B Word Comedy Hour was better than I hoped. Producing shows stresses me out like no other, but I'm also glad, always glad when people have a good time. See you at the next one. What is this? What is it? Why did you pick it? The B Word Comedy.
I always think that I actually have a hard time naming shows that I produce. There's always some
Right.
kind of profanity in it. And it's like, you can't say black chicks and pink dicks, Shauna. You can't
I
say that.
see. I see.
You can't be running around saying tits and giggles, but
Right.
she still did it and people can. So I'm
Right.
trying to get a little bit away from full on profanity, but also the B word could be anything. Some people's minds go to bitch, but it
You're
could be
kidding.
brilliant,
Yeah, it's
badass.
probably not. It's probably bitch. Um,
Yeah, depending on how the set goes, maybe it is. So I let you to figure that out
where's
after
the
you
show
pick
at? Are you in Vegas now?
in downtown Vegas. Yeah,
Do you live there? I know you were born there.
born here. I just moved back, so I've been gone for about 10 years,
In where?
running
New
around.
York, LA?
Yeah, New York, LA, the Bay
Okay.
Area, Seattle, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Texas.
Is Vegas? I know it's Vegas, so this might sound dumb, but you know,
Mm.
you leave the area. I guess it's obviously not as crazy.
Mm.
Is there a big difference where you're at compared to a New York City and LA? Is it any cheaper, or obviously that's a party destination, so no.
It's cheaper than most places, although it is going up because now we have sports teams, and
All
so
right.
people are moving from California to come here, so now our rent's going up because of those people. But it is still cheaper than LA and New York.
I'm saving $1 million going to Charlotte, and now I'm counting everybody's rent. I hope it doesn't seem rude to people. I'm like, right?
No, no, you should. We should all be asking how much people get paid and how much things cost, so
Yes.
we can all get together and burn down places that are too expensive.
Right.
Anyway,
Do when you produce shows, is it is it stressful? Is it just stressful finding the person, making sure they show up on time, or is it also stressful a comedian going, "Hey, I'm happy to be on your show," and you just know, no, you'll ruin it, not you. But yes, I go to some clubs where people like you perform. That doesn't mean we're equal, and
mm,
you actually aren't ready. But on no planet can I say that.
um, I say whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
But I haven't produced shows enough to say that to people. I just
You
ignore
go, you
people's
don't mean
DMs.
it. You just like hit their shoulder. You're always so funny.
It's really interesting because I just promoted this show. I just did it. It's the first one I'm doing for the rest of the year. I'm doing the show with this place. And somebody who I've never met before sends me a DM and was like, I'd love to do your show. I'm like, you've never been to the show.
Right.
I don't know you. You just want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
and shit, do you have a tape? I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it either. And for a while, I was just booking shows that only booked women, so it eliminated a lot of
Okay.
people in my DMs who were mediocre.
Right.
But now the white women are starting to figure out they have to be in your DMs too, and I'm not sure if I like that.
I'd get
Uh,
that. I get people trying to be on Keith and the Girl, and you could just tell, like, you don't know what it is. The next thing I know, you wrote, "I'm an open book" in your email, and that's actually the worst fucking thing you can write because it's never their book. And I'm always too personal. Hey, I'm transgender. I can talk about anything. Okay, so you do have a physical
yeah.
vagina now? Whoa, why obsessed with my
Hey,
private parts? Okay, all right, open book. You said it.
right. Uh, no, I find that booking shows is fine for now because I book people that I know are funny, and since it's a monthly show, it'll be fine. I actually stress out more if people don't come. That's where my stress
Sure,
is.
right,
Is like having people inviting people to like a birthday party and nobody comes to it. It's that feeling of like, oh, you guys hate my guts.
right.
The comics show up on time because they respect me, and I don't start late either. So they
Yeah,
were earlier than the audience was. The comics showed up and they were like, "Where's everybody?" And then everybody showed up like 5 minutes later, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I would do kind of would produce these shows. I would do a stand up show one time, literally once a year. It's as crazy as you're thinking it is. But I'd record it and whatever. And even though I'm told by I know the tickets we sold, I'm told by him to hey, there's a good crowd out there as I'm sweating in the back in the back room. But I'll come out and be like, oh, you really are here. I knew it,
Yeah,
but what if I come out here and this is the year you just don't give
yeah,
a fuck?
yep. Yep,
It's
yep.
scary. Yeah.
It's really scary because people will be like, all leading up to the event, I'm gonna be there. I'm bringing
Yeah.
so and so. Da 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 da. I'm like, what happened to all the people? He said, we're,
Right.
you know what I mean? So
And then what they
that
do also, did this happen the day of how many days did you do your stand up?
I just, what do you mean, my special?
One show? Is it two put together?
I did, yeah. I taped 2 shows one night.
Okay. And so those nights, tell me if you got this. It's last fucking minute and you get a text from a friend like, "Oh, sorry, I don't think I could be there." Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, never mind the
Actually,
opposite. Can you put me on the ticket thing? I'm like, I'm a little nervous right now.
that's what was happening. It was a bunch of my old coworkers, and they were like, "It says the early show sold out, but I'm going to come anyway and pay for a late ticket, and you guys just figure it out when I get to the door." I'm
Yeah,
like,
we'll figure it out.
oh.
That's And then I want somebody in the back. I'm trying to get into a zone going, hey, these people are saying that. Like, no, I'm
It was
pacing.
the most stressful part of that night for sure. Was
Right.
people come up to me like, "Hey, can this is my friend. I just brought him, but it said sold out." And I figured, I'm like,
Are they just
it's
selfish or do they not think your job is serious?
I don't know. I feel like, especially with that day, I think people were like, "You want a shot?" Like people were trying to like act like it was
Right.
a normal day. They didn't realize like I can't talk to you.
Right.
Like some people were mad that I didn't like chat with them before the show started. I'm like, you don't see the chaos. You don't even think that I might be, I don't know, considering not doing the show at
I
all.
remember a couple, Keith and the girl, like two people, married. And it was the end. They're a big Keith and the girl supporter. I know their names. Anyway, I get off stage, and at this place, you had to walk through the crowd. So I kind of walked through the crowd with a smile on my face, getting to this back room. And later, it's like, wow, Keith just walked right past me and didn't bother to say hello. And I'm like, I know it's the end of the show. My head is spinning like a mother.
They don't get it.
Yeah. Hey, your
They don't.
surgery's done. How you doing? And I'm saying that's easier surgery.
Right. Yeah. Because the people are asleep. So you can just do whatever you
That's
want.
right. They're supposed to be asleep this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people don't realize what that feels like to be. You also have to be on, right? You can't be a dick to people. They
Right.
showed up, but you also don't have enough space to do it and also get on stage and do that part too, like the most important part.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a selfish thing. I just think they think what you're doing is like easy or
You have
something.
3 days before somebody's special to say something. How about that? Is that fair?
Yeah.
3 days. You want any favors or whatever? For good friends, you can have 3 days.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
I'll give
also
them.
just buy your fucking ticket,
Hey,
friend.
yo,
It can't be that expensive. Whatever the fuck it is, it can't be that expensive that you don't want to support your friend. And if you want to make it about you, oh shit, that person, a friend who I would have gave a free ticket to had I thought about it or something, knew to pay anyway.
yeah.
Are you interested? Don't you want to support?
It's that part too. Like, not a lot of people actually ask for free tickets. Mostly my family does that kind of stuff, and I'm always like, no.
Right.
But my friends, these are people that I've worked with over the past 15 years, off and on when I come back home, and they haven't seen me do comedy at all. So it's
Right.
like, this is your one chance. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come. And then it's like, well, we're gonna go to the show, and then someone else says, now they want to come. And I'm like, well, now there's no tickets. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Like, we're gonna bring them anyway. It's fine.
Hopefully you don't feel. Hopefully you feel awkward and have to find a way to let them in. Anyway, we'll be outside. It's raining. Good
But they
luck.
also think that I'm at the door checking tickets too. I'm
Right.
like, I'm not in charge of that. They
Right.
have the list, they have it printed out. I don't come to me and be like, can I come in? Give the man some money and I
Right.
hope you find a seat. I don't know.
Also, friend, you're the one with the stable job. I have to worry how many projects come in today.
Well, I do have a stable job, which adds to my stress
Oh,
because
I'm
I
I'm
don't
I'm
have
getting
it.
to that. I
Yeah.
might have had the same job.
Yeah.
I heard it. So of course I heard your special that we'll get into. I also heard that you're on a track from about I think it was 2010, and it was Jamie Kennedy, right? That's what the voice sounded like, and it was a little segment called. It was like he has a video collection of these or audio collection, and it's called "Coming to the Stage." This was volume 10 that you're on.
But yeah, season 10, I think that came out in 2018 or something, or I think that's when I filmed it at
I really
least.
I
I'm
thought it
not
was
sure.
earlier, but okay, you're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think filmed before the pandemic, like 2018 or
Okay.
19, and then it didn't come out until 21, maybe. I never watched it because I hated it. So, but Jamie Kennedy was very nice.
No, he wasn't. So
He was nice then.
so Scream 2, the Jamie Kennedy experiment, you know all this. He introduced you, and I don't think this was a clever thing he was trying to
I
do.
didn't watch it, so I don't know. What did he do?
Are you guys ready to feel good? Are you ready to feel sweet? I'm always happy around this person. You guys probably met for the first time right then. It's Shanna Christmas. And you go, what the fuck? Ready to feel sweet? Well, this isn't going to be sweet. I don't know. I'm going to talk about heavy shit. And then you get into it. And then at the end, he goes, see, guys, I told you she was sweet. And I'm like, I think you're just trying to cover up as if that was a plan you had at the beginning. But it's just another female comic to you. And it was
Yeah,
very fucking strange.
I didn't even watch it or hear what he said.
The
So thank you for
Of
telling
course.
me.
And then I saw his documentary Heckler.
Huh.
And the tagline is everybody's a critic, and he explains how hard comedy is. And let me tell you something. After seeing this, he proved his point.
Uh oh.
Didn't you edit this shit? There's two hecklers, two like college frat boys, it seems, in the audience, like heckle him during one of the shows. He thinks he's going to be
Oh.
clever for this documentary. Takes him backstage to really sit down and explain why did they heckle.
Oh wow.
I was on the heckler's side the whole time. He's like, well, this didn't have a fucking premise. You really just
Oh.
said this shocking word to be shocked. And I'm like, then why did you keep that in there? You look like an asshole.
What's this playing on?
I don't know, but it's worth up to $5 easily. Easily. Like, I hate that. Why yeah, it's work. And I do take it seriously. But it's not digging ditches. And why do you think you're going to pass that on to people and make like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't really appreciate. No, in the audience, you shut up. That's it. You made your point. I don't need an hour and a half on it.
See, this is what you did wrong. I'm going to bring you
Right.
backstage. I'm going to give you a little talking to, young man.
I in this little stand up thing, and then some of it is in this new special. But you talk about you do you date more white guys than black guys?
No, I've only dated one. I think I have this weird
You only dated one what?
white guy.
Oh, okay.
There was an era where I was looking at white dudes like, okay, this is cool. But I've only dated one white dude, and everybody else is black. I dated uh, what was he? He was Filipino and something.
You,
And
I wonder, like, did this white person have all these stories? Did you put some people together? But you said, for example, the white guys they took me to a fucking museum. I'm like, okay, good luck at 2 hours of eating my pussy tonight. All right, fucking museum.
white guys, yeah, there was one guy I dated for 3 years, so that's enough.
Okay,
White
that's enough
guy.
for you to say. You know what? White people try hard because they're
There's
inadequate and they know it.
yes, yes, yes. Now that's the thing. I can meet a white guy without even dating him. If I go to the strip tonight, I can find me a very
Of course,
eager white man to
right?
do whatever. Yes, any
To do
that
whatever.
yeah, I don't have to date him. He'll see me and be like, "Whoa, do you need anything?"
You said a right. You said like a black person will flat out come up to you if let's say you're holding hands with a
Yeah,
white
yeah,
guy
yeah.
and it'll be like
You're not hitting
he
it.
ain't treating you right like you're
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
leave all of a sudden. It's like oh there's a misunderstanding.
No, no, no. Yeah. Actually, that's not why I'm here.
He pays for things.
He's buying stuff, you idiot.
The job you were alluding to is working in a nursing home.
Yes.
And
Occupational therapy.
do you first of all your dad rest in peace I think sounds like a good
Yes.
guy.
No.
He went from dementia right.
Hmm.
And my mom did too, which is funny because, well, I don't know if the word's funny, but like I remember somebody there at the nursing home was telling you, dementia is really mad cow disease, and you're like, okay, then I guess he's fine.
It was my hairdresser, the
Okay.
conspiracy theorist. I was
And somebody said that to me about my mom. I did stand up, and I was saying, so my mom died of dementia, and somebody's like, you don't die from dementia. I'm like, okay, then I'll give her a phone call. Because
yeah.
it seemed to me that she did. It's like
She's
it's like
not here.
you die from the complications of dementia. Okay, it's
All
like
right.
I had a home ec teacher, and she was teaching. Somehow this made a test, and it was like, it's the food that gets hot, not the plate in the microwave. I'm like, okay, but I think the plate is hot.
Right. When I touch the plate, it too is hot. Like,
I could burn myself, but it's not true.
oh boy, it's like the old gun debate then, huh?
Which gone?
It's not the gun
Oh,
doesn't
right, right. It's the
person
people,
holding it.
right, right.
Yeah.
Somehow the people's always involved, though. Somehow. What was your dad in the same nursing home that you worked at?
No, no, my
Okay.
dad never made it to a nursing home. He went
Ah,
to the hospital and then he went home for like home care. And it was hospital hospice at home dead
okay.
within like 6 months.
Wow. Yeah, my mom went in a bad way, like bedridden, could be in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's bedridden, but couldn't talk, can make
Mm-hmm.
noise, way too much laughter. It's like there's nothing funny going on.
Oh,
What are
was
you
she
doing?
laughing?
She would laugh, but I felt uncomfortable. In fact, does this
Mm.
happen when you work there? Do you I'm not sure what position you have. Do patients' families talk to you
Oh,
or
all the time.
answers? And
Everybody.
and do they give advice? Like you're doing this wrong. It's like motherfucker, you're like a Christmas church person. You're never here. You don't give a fuck. I know that. So what are you correcting me on?
They never, there was actually, I cussed out somebody Thursday. There was a husband and wife in the nursing home together, and the wife was doing worse than the husband. And every time I would ask the wife a question, he would like chime in and like give the answer. And I'm
Hmm,
like, I'm not talking to you. And then I would
right.
pull the curtain closed so he would not be like hovering
Oh wow.
off his bed. But then he would still interject. And then he got mad about me not leaving a walker in her room so she could practice walking by herself and fall, maybe. I don't know what he wanted her to
Right.
do. But he's like, I don't like your logic. I was like, how long have you been a
Yeah.
therapist?
I need you to do something crazy toxic to my wife and then
Yeah, I want her to stay here longer,
pull it
actually. Can
from
you get,
her the
yeah,
bootstraps. Yeah.
yeah. I was
Tough
like,
love.
I don't care if you like my logic. I've been doing this for 15
Right.
years. How long have you been doing it, sir?
They
And if
like
you're
me
doing
here
so
and you
well,
need me. Shut up.
yeah, yeah. I was like, if you're doing so well, why don't you go home? And his wife goes, he's leaving tomorrow. I was like, well, thank God. Maybe she'll do better. But usually people's family members are very happy to hear somebody
Right.
explain things to them because a lot of times people don't have time to talk to anybody anymore. Everybody's just rushed.
I was talking to higher up nurse there, me and the family, me and my siblings, I mean. And I was like, okay, so we were just to get some follow up. We all live far away. When we were, do you think she recognizes us? Because when we were in there,
Mm,
she's making noise out of nervousness. Her eyes are definitely not comfortable, and she's wheelchairing back away from us. And the nurse is like,
mm.
the nurse is like, yeah, I could tell she recognizes you. I'm like, I don't know why I even asked, but how the fuck do you know?
That behavior doesn't seem like she recognizes
It
you
doesn't seem it, right?
just off what you're saying.
It's like, what
Moving
the
backwards seems like she doesn't want to be around you guys.
That's what it feels like. I think we're doing a disservice there. I remember you know what? It reminds me of when I got robbed. I got mugged with two guys with two guns, and I give my wallet like a human being, but then I'm like, I kind of the interaction was kind of slow. Should I have tried to fight them? Which is stupid,
Oh,
of course, but I'm like, I could double uppercut the people, double uppercut the guy. But the adrenaline, I can pick this car and throw them. So anyway, just so I don't feel like a pussy, I know it was subconscious. I said to the cops after, like, you think I did the right thing? And they're like, absolutely, you would have got shot. And I'm like, perfect. I'm a
yes.
man, and the cops agreed I did the right thing. Like,
That's scary. You got robbed at gunpoint.
yeah. Then I'm like, and so then. I'm like, too much time goes by. Maybe I'm wrong. It just time feels like forever, which makes me,
Sure.
but I'm thinking things in my head that feels like it takes a long time. Could I punch your guns away? Could I, like, that takes time, doesn't it? Then another person walking the street was walked past us. They put the gun at him. It's like, give me your wallet. And the guy shakes his head and keeps walking. And then I'm
Ah!
like, I feel like it's too late for me though. You know, this guy didn't call the police or nothing. I'm like, motherfucker.
Where was this at? In New York?
Somewhere in Brooklyn, I was seeing a chick. I haven't been there
Oh,
before, and I'm to blame the victim a little bit. I knew better than to look at the buildings. Like, where the fuck am I? Like, I'm in Times
looking
Square looking out
lost.
for the first time. Like, I
Yeah,
definitely don't know where
yeah.
I am. They're like, this guy can't tell the police where he
Ah,
is.
oh no, yeah, you were looking like fresh meat.
Yeah, but you know what? When I did meet the girl, some of the best sex ever. That staying alive sex.
Hey, I stayed alive. That's what
I,
I'm talking about. That's
I
what you
chipped it.
need.
I chipped a tooth. True story.
Oh, eating puss or
On the whoa my god, yeah, we had to break up. Her clit was too hard for me. I was emasculated. On the headboard, you know.
oh damn,
Yeah.
she had you bent over or what?
Uh, no, I'm a man. I was on top and just went a little fucking nuts.
Jesus.
I took it out on her the whole thing. So I
Keith
do
and the
feel bad.
poor girl.
Right. Did you okay, you're 6'3".
Yep.
Speaking of hurting ourselves, do you run into shit all the fucking time? I have so many filters on here. You can't tell because I have Vaseline on my lens like I'm Barbara Walters, but my head is so fucking dented. And people, they go, "Oh, I wish I was taller." I'm like, God, I wish that to happen to you. I go, I wish I was in a fucking wheelchair. And they go, careful what you wish for. I'm
Yeah.
begging.
Yes, please. I would rather run into people's butts than into fans and shelves and
Yeah.
cabinets. And yeah, I don't hit my head on stuff that much anymore. There was a period of time where it
Anymore.
happened because now you got this awareness of how high things are, right? So
Do
you're
you have
like,
back
oh,
problems though? Because if you're good at it,
no,
no.
mm-mm.
Okay, interesting.
I have really good posture.
And you don't hit your head on things. That's interesting.
Mm-mm. I just kind of like every once in a while in New York, and I'm going down like to a show in the basement. That little piece on the steps when you're coming down.
Yeah.
That's sometimes I'll hit my head on
Oh,
that
I
because
cracked on one of those.
I'm
Like,
not used to that
yeah.
thing. I'm not used to doing that per
Do you
se.
think it's
But
the way they say black people can dance and have rhythm and we don't, and so I can't move fast enough or something?
maybe it might just be some kind of generational curse.
I
Have you
was on
done
a
your DNA?
I was at a water park. No, I don't actually. My dad doesn't tell me anything. I was on a water park with like just this big V, and you're on a tube, and you go up and back, and I cracked my fucking head on it, and I'm like, we don't fit in inner
Oh,
tubes. We barely fit anywhere.
yeah. You're taking a chance getting on any kind of like roller coaster or ride, or
Yes.
it's just it's not safe. It's not made for us. It's
Hmm.
not made for us to have fun out there.
It is. It really is not. It really is
It's
not.
not.
And like they'll have like Special Olympics, and there's runners that have the springs on, the
Yes,
spring
the
legs, and they're
amputees.
like,
Yes.
yeah, look how brave they are. And I'm like, their knees don't hurt. When can I have they ever get tired running? They're bouncing 5 fucking feet faster than they would anyways. And then when you stand there, you're just bouncing. That seems kind of fun,
It's actually really hard to run all those things, I think.
right? I mean, good for them. They can't be in the regular one, so good for them. Okay. Of course, they
I
can't be in the regular one because it'd be cheating.
was so confused watching the Paralympic Games because they had swimmers, and I kept saying, I don't understand what these people's disabilities were. They have to keep explaining what like the little icons meant next to like the different
Ah,
heats. And
okay. That's
like some
good.
people are hearing impaired, some people can only. It's like, oh, because I was like,
Right.
they
Fine.
look
We don't
fine.
say fine. We say God's special angels that teach us to appreciate everything
Sure.
we have. Yeah.
But I'm like, this person looks like she could have just swam with everybody else. And their
Right.
times were kind of good too. So I'm like, what's happening?
What's your not problem per
What's
se?
yeah. So I
But
have to
what if
look
they
up
had a
like
cure? Not that it's a disease. What if there was a cure though? Would you jump on it? What is that thing? What is that total normal thing that changes everything in your life? I'm
they
just
should have
curious.
one for really tall people because it
Right.
is a disadvantage to be wandering around. They should just have tall people Olympics where you're just like doing stuff on average size things.
I
Like
like
even
when you
golfing, those clubs aren't long enough.
right.
You have to do a lot of adjustments to get
I
it's
was at a golf course
discrimination.
the other day. They go, "What's your handicap?" I point to my head. Gas. Jesus, it's crazy. Yeah, I get vertigo. You talked about like dating guys and they think it's sexy to like lift you up as you're half
Yeah,
dancing or something. It's like, first of all, motherfuckers, there's a ceiling fan.
no.
Secondly, clean it once in a
You
while.
clean it once in a
It's like you're
while.
pulling out the refrigerator and go and look. No, you didn't clean it.
People don't clean their fans. It's honestly a problem. Every season you should clean them, and you're supposed to reverse the fan during different months. I forget which way. Anyway,
I'm not now. I got to be a mechanic.
I can the little button that changes it. Like one makes the air come down, and the other makes the air go up and out, so it doesn't blow directly on you. I forget which way you should
Must be
spin it.
nice. I'll find out in Charlotte. They actually have their shit together. Do you know that a dishwasher uh, isn't a privilege? It's a right. Did you know that?
It's a right to have a dishwasher.
Yeah, it's legally a right in some of these other places that aren't New York City or Vegas, maybe.
We had a dishwasher. We moved into this house when I was a kid, and my mom was like, "That's coming out. You're the dishwasher," and
Yeah.
so we
Well, this
never
is
used it.
my dad acts like we were such like we were hellions somehow. and because he didn't know communication, so we couldn't communicate with him. But somehow he thought we were going, fuck, this is the bad shit that we did. If he went away to do fake work, he sold insurance, but really just went to the park and ate ho-hos, we figured out. But anyways, if
Oh no.
he'd leave, we try to ask without seeming obvious about when are you coming back home. The answer was always sooner than you would like. I'm like, okay, whatever. We weren't allowed to run the dishwasher. We had to hand wash it. So when he left, this was the big thing we got away with, running the dishwasher. And it was an older dishwasher. So we'd hear him come up this country driveway. So, like, a mile long. So that's a big warning that we get. And then
Yeah.
you open up the dishwasher and all the smoke's pouring out and you're trying to fan it out. And then you got away with it somehow. And you're like, gotcha.
You think that he didn't know that, or is that just
That would
something?
be funny if he did know. Then he's like, and don't think they're getting away with something and won't do drugs. They won't get anybody pregnant because this is their big bad thing.
Wow, is that what happened, Keith?
Something good didn't happen. I'll tell you that much. I forget what you said that led to this, but you were talking about like some of all the black dicks I sucked. And then you went, I'm like a Kardashian, except
It's
all the black dicks I sucked never got me anything, never got me
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's because when you're tall, people think you're famous. Like the behavior
Yes.
around people tall is like, whoa, wow, can I take a picture? Whoa, do you play
Yeah.
basketball? People are staring, people are pointing. It is like being famous, but for no reason at
Do
all.
they flat out just ask for a picture? Do they go like, you look like my friend. Can I take a picture?
No, I've had every kind of can I take a picture happen to me. You look like
Uh,
somebody, are you somebody? Just kind of take a picture because you're so much taller than I
right.
am. I've had all kinds of requests for pictures. Yeah.
Do you say like, can I get one of you? And they're like, what?
No, there's a bit of like a element of do I do I do I make this confrontational and now I've got to fight some dude in Walmart because I
Right.
wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like some of that's like, what's the
Yeah.
safest option?
Right.
Let's just take the picture, then I can go away. Like,
I do you think about as you walk around, do you recognize you're tall? I'm 6'2". I
mhm.
don't until I meet somebody taller than me and I'm like, oh shit, this is what everybody has to do.
Yeah. I think I feel it all the time that I am tall because I'm
Okay.
I'm noticing other people noticing me.
Okay.
But I do feel like when I get around other tall people, I'm like, hey, like I'll walk right up to tall people. I'm like, this is the meeting? Are we having the meeting right
Right. Can
now?
we be friends?
What are we talking about? Who has the notes on the meeting? And then when's the next one? Like it's very
I
fun to be around
yeah.
the same height of people. Yeah.
I remember dating and somebody I met on OK Cupid. Um, when we met in person, she was my height, and of course you want a date to work out, period. But I'm just thinking, please let this work out. This is so
Oh,
abnormal that I don't got to move anywhere to kiss something.
yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. It's not working out. Damn.
Yeah, that's nice. I think my ex was 6'5", so he was always like, wow, these hugs are really cool. We just can just
Right.
stand here and it's nice. It's like, yeah, isn't it?
Oh, I'm a good hugger now because I got to bend over and then it takes a while to get back up. So you really feel me squeeze in and giving quote
Yeah.
love. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My brother's 6'5". That should be illegal. Your brother is 6'8". This
Six,
is
eight and a half. Yeah.
otherworldly. 6'8" and
Mm-hmm.
a half. The
Mm-hmm.
scales even go that high for the half?
I don't know. He might be shorter now, as we get
Yeah.
older. But
Yeah.
he's 6'8", and that's like every standard door frame is like 6'9", I think. So like he kind of has to do a little bit of a
My brother
dip.
does at 6'5". He has to duck a lot. His
Does
none
he?
of his
Yeah.
office like when he would work office jobs or be in front of a desk never fit him. He's always banging
Oh
his
yeah.
legs. We're the handicapped people.
That's what I'm saying. They don't make stuff for us. We got to get
They
special
really
stuff and we got
don't.
to pay extra money for it. And it's not fun. And
It's
they
not
assume
fun.
that we know everything, which I don't like. Like people
How would
always
I
ask.
know everything? I can't, my head has brain damage.
No, they think that tall people have like authority and they know what
All
stuff
right.
is and what to do. It's really weird.
And I'm so bad at physical direction, I get lost easily. I wonder if that's related. Maybe because I don't see the street signs and fire hydrants like you guys do that remind you which way to go on the way back. I'm
He's
like
probably
I'm
just
seeing
bad
like
at it.
airplanes and birds and shit. How's that going to help me? They don't repeat the same.
Well, I think that's a common thing for men to be bad at directions, though.
Okay, I can't help it. Right.
I don't think that's a hype thing.
Thank you. You hear that, honey? Because of pre whatever to do it, predisposed. Yeah, when I worked at it was a nurse. I was a nurse's assistant, and
I
only
did
for
that for a while.
only for a second. So it's like $6 or $7 in my hometown, in the
Hmm.
country, and that was a lot, $6 or $7 an hour.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe I got it because there's really no. I say I'm good with people, whatever bullshit you rate on the resume, but obviously I didn't work in this environment before. What am I gonna do? I think we can learn from them. What the fuck did I write? So anyway, so I'm doing the interview. Okay, before I go into the office, I see an older lady is trying to use the. I think this is on the second floor of the office for whatever reason, and I saw some lady trying to use the elevator. I'm like, oh, let me get that for you. Okay,
Mm.
then I go into the interview. She's asking me questions. It's going well. Then all of a sudden, somebody comes in and goes, "Did you see Marge?"
Oh,
And I got it right away. I'm like, oh fuck. And it's like,
you let
yes,
her
she's
go.
gone. We have to search for her. She's left the building. We're sure of that. And I was like, I don't think I can tell you. I want to help the search, but I need my $6 or $7 an hour. So hope you
You have to go
find her.
clock. You didn't go clock in first and then go back
Right. I
outside to
can make
help.
this happen. You'll see. I do that test to show you. Let me see what I can find. I have an inkling she's off the West Wing.
Oh
So they
no.
did find her a couple blocks over. Luckily, they wander around like idiots, and then came back and nobody knew nothing. But yeah, I almost fucked it up right away. Then they,
Oh,
please.
memory care patients, patients with dementia and Alzheimer's, those are like some of the most busybody people. Like you
Hmm.
got to keep them in a locked unit. They got wander guards. They paint trees on the walls so people don't think they
Right.
can walk through the doors. Like I had at one time there was a patient that almost threw a nurse out the window on
What?
the locked unit. Yeah, he wanted to go.
He who threw out who?
The patient almost threw the nurse out the window of a
Wow.
locked unit. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Do you get like an Amazon gift card or that's just part of the job?
No, we don't get anything.
Okay.
I always tell my patients though, like, there's a number you guys can call when you're getting abused, but we should
Right.
have one when you abuse us because this is unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hear hear the stories where it's like, this nursing home, beat up all the residents every day. It turns out we saw on cameras. It's like, yeah, I imagined. I take some of these people. Lord God, the first week, um, did you ever catch somebody lose their shit? It's like, hey, we have to have a talk. You can't really grab them by the arm like that.
Um, no, I've never seen
Okay,
it.
good. All right.
Mm-mm.
I didn't either, but I remember the first week. Um, and they're training you, and that's like a joke. And I'm like, I'm getting $6, $7 an hour to watch and the training videos are stupid. They're just as dumb as you need the real experience, right, to learn
Yeah.
anything. It's like fast food restaurant training. Like, watch out for the waster. He wants you to waste the end of the ketchup. Please waste the end of the ketchup. It's like, okay, big lessons here. Um, so they showed this video, and obviously these are actors, even the old people, but they take this old lady. The old lady says like, I'm hungry now. And so this nurse's assistant actor
Yeah.
shoves her in a locker. Shut
Yeah.
up, you asshole. I'll get you out when I'm ready. Pounds on the door. I said, shut up. I hate you. We're not going to
Mm.
give you good care at all. They stop the tape and they go, okay, new class. What mistakes did they make? It's like, well, you can't push them there. Treat them like human beings. You can't be pounding on the door.
Yeah.
They're scared where they are. Blah blah.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, the teacher goes, "That's very good. You got them all. You know, the last class they got like two right. Like
Oh
what?
shit.
And they're gonna pass just like me, 6, 7 an hour.
Yeah, and they're out there. There's a lot of people like that out there taking care of people. It's
Right.
scary.
Uh,
Those B and C students are thriving right now, neglecting your grandma.
right.
Oof.
Right. And then so the training was a week. I'm not comparing us, Shauna. I didn't last a day. And
You didn't?
I did not. First of all, it's a heartbreaking fucking job.
Oh yeah.
This is before my mom had dementia. And I'm realizing like what I was 18, and I'm realizing what this really means when you're talking to somebody, a patient, and they remember this old store in Somerset, Pennsylvania, where I'm from, Fisher's Big Wheel, for those in the know. And it's like, yeah, I remember that and this, and it's funny how everything changed, blah blah blah. I'm like, we're getting along. That's interesting. And then a couple more bites of creamed spinach, and then I go, do you remember when Fisher's Big Wheel was on the other side of town? What? Who are you? I'm like, fuck. They did not warn me. That wasn't in the video.
Yeah.
They're crying, don't talk to me. And I'm like, and by the way, I don't know if it's
Mm,
trial by fire. Or they just thought I could handle it, but not one nurse helps me during any of these fucking screamings. I'm like, shouldn't you check up on me though?
no, it's bad. I walked into a place one time. I
Or
used to do
maybe
a
I'm
lot of
sorry, or
like,
maybe I followed somebody around for a week. Maybe it was a total 2 weeks,
I
and then
hope
it was
so.
by myself. But either way, yeah. But either way, it was by myself.
Yeah.
They hear the screaming from other rooms, like I'm bathing
Uh,
somebody, and they hear that.
yeah. They're used to that sound though. It's just you.
Yeah,
You're new to it.
right.
They're used to that sound. That sound happens all the time. This place I worked at just now in Oakland, there was a lady who was like, nurse, nurse, all day long.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's all. I mean, when you don't know what's happening and you hear that, you're like, she's calling the nurse. And they're like, we know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll stay here long enough and she'll be saying nurse all day. And it becomes part of the mixtape
Right. Yeah.
of the facility.
I don't. The nurses had to do stuff, but I was dressing them, bathing them, feeding them, powdering them,
Hmm.
powdering them.
Hmm.
So the women, I'm the only guy,
Hmm.
nurse and nurse's assistant. I'm the only guy there.
Yeah.
And there's a thing where, so that it doesn't stick with their big saggy tits now at their age, you powder them.
Yes, I know.
Well, the women knew too that I had to do that and would demand me to do that. So anytime I would pass a room, nurse, powder my breast. I'm like, we already started the day with that. You have
Oh,
to. And then another maybe nurse's assistant
oh
here. Like, no, not
no.
you, nothing. I don't need nothing. Oh, you,
No.
the man, nurse. I'm like, this is
Did you do it?
interesting. Maybe at first until eventually I'm like, eventually when I ended up quitting, it was I did everything. I finished the packet of information and I dropped it and I dropped it on the front desk without even saying goodbye. I left. Somebody yelled out, "Nurse, powder my tits. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here." And I'm like, join the fucking club. Bye. And they needed people, I guess, so badly that I just left. Like that's a
Uh-huh.
horrible.
It's patient abandonment.
I did a horrible fucking thing.
Yeah.
I have my own apartment. I don't think to add my number. They call my parents and go, he could still work here if he
Can you come
wants.
back? Yep.
Well, and I couldn't. Like I didn't want to. First of all, I'm so fucking embarrassed. I don't know how I could do that.
Yeah.
B, no, I did make up my mind in 2 weeks and a day.
There was a therapist at my job who showed up to work drunk, and they just sent him home and said, sober up. And then
Yeah,
he
wow.
was. That's how bad it is. Is that anything is forgivable? I guess maybe outside of I don't know having sex with them or murder, but being drunk and abusive or
Right.
that's a bit like we don't have enough help.
I remember. So there's a schedule, obviously, and they eat at their certain time, and you always take them to the bathroom right after, and
You
whether they
should.
need it or not, I'm told. And she's like, this woman, I don't have to go to the bathroom. I really don't. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, you fucking know your body, right? So then later, a nurse calls me in from another room and goes, and almost dramatically, the wheelchair's away from me. I'm seeing the patient's back,
Uh-huh.
and the nurse is like, um, did you have her go to the bathroom? I'm like, yes, of course, after every meal, right? That's the way I understood it. Yeah. It's like, okay. Turns the woman around. I don't know if she
Hmm.
put the socks back on, but takes the shoe off and piss comes out. And I go,
Hmm.
whatever her name is, Marge, why didn't you tell me you needed the bathroom again? And she goes,
Yeah, yes.
sorry. I'm like,
Yeah,
phew.
yeah. Yeah, she probably didn't know she had to pee. You're supposed to take her anyways.
But
You
of course,
believed
take
her.
her anyways. Yeah. But yeah,
You
now I
believed
know.
her.
There was, you had to bathe them and of course you know about this, but those donuts where you have them sit down, it lifts them up and over the tub and into the tub because a lot of them can't just put their leg into the tub.
We don't put them in tubs anymore.
Okay, but do you put them in like a seat or you just
Mm-mm.
you just body wash them and they're sitting down?
There's a lift that puts you in like a shower chair, and the chair has a hole in the bottom, and then they just wheel the chair from the room to the shower room. Then they just hose you
Oh,
down like a car wash. But there's no more like putting people in actual
I
bathtubs.
had to I this donut thing like put you in. You were still sitting on that thing,
Oh,
but you did fill up the bathtub. So this one lady starts screaming
yep.
about don't get me wet, don't get me wet. I don't know if she drowned in a former life. I don't know what. And I'm like, I do. And I go, you know what? What did you do? Just play football? Who gives a fuck? You don't have bed sores, you're fine. I go, you would know. You don't need a bath, right? And so she goes, okay. And I go, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get the tub wet
Oh my
And
God.
then
Keith.
we're gonna get the fuck out of here. She's like, okay, good. And so I start putting the water on. Ah, don't get me wet. I'm like, listen, you're ruining this for everybody. Now, when you put people in that donut chair, it weighs them. Well, I couldn't get her in the chair, so I made up the weight.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you quit that job. You were
I
horrible.
was horrible. So I remember the end of the day, end of the shift. I give this pack. I did give some info. Yeah, I think I gave a whole packet to somebody, but I think maybe I was supposed to do something else and just left. I definitely walked out, whatever it was, as opposed to getting a review or something. But I did turn in a packet because in person because you had to rate down the weight, and so I made a guess on it. And my new boss is like, "Did you weigh her in the chair?" I'm like, "Yeah, the numbers that pop up, right, when you put them in the chair." Like, "Yeah, it's something seems off." And I'm like, "Oh,
Oh God.
what's the old weight say?" And she wouldn't say. Like she knew something was up, and she's like, "Why don't you weigh her again?" I'm like, "Oh God damn it!" So you're a
Oh no.
superhero, is my point.
Oh, good.
That's my point. That is a hard fucking job.
The thing about old people is that they don't like to take showers because they're so cold.
Ah,
And when you put them in there and they come out and the air is blowing on them, they're like, I'd rather just not be wet because you
right,
guys don't dry me properly and you're rough because you're in a hurry.
right.
And I don't enjoy this whole experience. Just don't give me a bath. It's fine.
And then I'm like, well, we blew it. We got to really do it this time.
You
Okay.
were that was a
And then,
full-on sitcom. You're like, we'll
right.
just wet the tub. What?
I took water, sprinkled her face real quick. I'm like, let's get out of
Oh
here.
my God. So bad. I would have hated you at work. Oh my
Well, you actually
God.
begged for me to come back. So
I would
interesting.
have hated that. Oh no.
And then as real production, she's yelling again. Now I could tell that they're kind of listening in on what's going on. I'm like, and you're
Yeah.
still just letting me do this?
Because they know that's how
Because it
she
happens all the
is.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me talk to you about this special, highly intelligent. I didn't understand the story fully, but it was on Instagram. Just just part of it. Maybe I don't know how to use Instagram and see longer clips. But anyway, you brought up somebody saying, Shauna, why aren't you on Netflix? And somebody was explaining how people actually lose money on there. What was this about?
That was Pete Lee. Yeah,
Okay.
Pete was just talking about how Netflix will do like a 2 year deal. They give you like $200,000 to shoot your special, and then most of the money goes to all these people, agents, lawyers, da 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 da.
Hmm.
They have to pay the camera crew or whatever $80,000 to film it,
That's half the
and
money.
then yeah, that's what he said. And then it doesn't even make top 10. Nobody even sees it, and you end up losing or making maybe I'm not even sure how much you end up making out of that whole deal, but it's
Right.
not a lot. And even then, nobody even sees it because they're not promoting it or whatever it is. So he's essentially saying that going with a bigger label like that isn't really helpful. So it's probably better for you to do it independently because at least you get views, which is more important than just having that little icon on your videos. What he was saying, like
And where
people
are
are
the
paying, huh?
I was gonna say where are the places that it's gonna be showing now?
I'm releasing mine on YouTube, and I'm also going to have it on Amazon Prime, and those will
Okay.
both be free to watch. So
Okay. Good.
yeah. I would rather people watch my special than be like, oh, it's on HBO, and people are like, I don't have HBO, so I can't see it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So it used to be like a really prestigious thing to have it on one of these big networks,
Right.
but people aren't even watching TV like that. So
I get you.
you kind of
Yeah.
have
That
to adjust to what, like these Gen Z kids don't even know what TV shows are streaming on which streamers. Like you ask them, where can you watch The Pit? And they're like, I don't know what that is.
right. Damn. The the special is so fucking good. And here's another thing I thought was funny. You had to learn fairly recently, like it seems like it's almost a journey still, making noise in bed. And I
Yeah.
feel like I can relate to that. In fact, I had a
Gosh.
woman tell me like, yeah, first of all, if I came, am I enjoying it? How about I make a little noise? And what I really did was exaggerate, like
Mm.
and the next
The
thing you
porn
know,
noises.
it became real.
Oh, you manifested.
I manifested it, now it comes out, and I let it go. And I don't know, maybe I was just it didn't feel like I was holding anything back, but apparently
Uh,
now I realize I must have been. Because what are we,
yeah,
animals?
yeah. It's a weird thing to notice about yourself, but I was told not to, so it's different. Like some people are like, yeah, just go in there and have a good time. I'm like, what's it like to have a good time? I don't know. I'm not allowed to have joy.
Right.
What? So yes, that it's not as new anymore. Now I know what I'm doing. Now I feel comfortable hearing my own sounds, and it's like, hey, look, this is me letting you know you're doing a good job.
Right.
So everybody's having a good time. Now, unless I'm not saying anything, then you definitely know. I'm not gonna pretend, which is different than not knowing what I'm supposed to do, as opposed to
Right.
like if I make a sound, it's because I'm making a genuine sound, as opposed to like, oh, he needs a little pick me up because he's
Right.
struggling. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that. I want you to know you're doing a bad job. So
So
you
you think
fix
you're
it.
good at that now? You're good at saying something now?
I think I'm better at it. I'm not as hesitant to kind of make a noise if
Okay.
it comes to me. I don't like suppress it. So,
Right. Good. Uh, by the way, speaking of dating, do you see when you see interracial couples,
mm.
do you make up a story in your head like, how's this happen? You know what I mean?
No, I don't care about that at
Okay,
all.
just curious that you date usually black people, so I'm just wondering if anything happens that happen.
Mm, no, I find that if I see, especially in LA, if I see a white woman with a black man, the black man's always carrying a dog.
Huh.
That's my only
I
observation.
get you. Like it's the white girl's purse.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like, why? What happened? Why are they're usually like really buff black dudes, like wearing sweaters, like R&B singers, and like
Yeah.
the white girls, like a blonde or whatever. They're always carrying a little pup
You
at
can't
the
date
comedy club.
you
It's like,
can't date white people after January 6th, right?
I don't know. I haven't dated anyone since then. So, it's hard to know. Sometimes I think about it might be a good way to kind of, like I said, learn their secrets. If they are plotting something, I can be on the inside or just to ruin their lives,
Hmm.
honestly. So some of that might be just like well, if I
Between
can
the
get one to like me, that'd be kind of cool to fuck up their shit.
do you in their life? Um, do do you are you interested in a partner? I get the vibe that you do, and I see the thirst traps. Are you interested? Like, obviously, you can get a guy, obviously, not the one you
Um,
want. Do you care?
I'm not, I don't know. I just got back to Vegas. So I've been traveling off and on as a therapist for 10 years. So
Okay,
it's really hard for me to be like, I want a date when my job is over in 6 months or 3 months. Like I don't stay long enough to kind of establish
I
relationships.
see.
So even when I dated my ex, that was 3 years, but it was 2019, then COVID hit. We're stuck in the same place. And it wasn't bad. Like we broke up, I think 2022. And so that was like the longest time where I was in one spot. Like even like I was in New York for a little bit, then I came back to Vegas for a little bit, and then once things started opening up, I was like back bouncing around. So it's hard for me to like let's go on dates, and then they're like, "I like you so much." I'm like, well, sorry, I'm leaving at the end of April." They're like, "Oh, fuck," you know what I mean? So
I think it's funny that 2022. I would right with COVID for us. I would say is like March 2020. That 19 gets a little confusing. But by 2022, there's this, COVID is quote in the air,
mm.
and you go, yeah, I know we're not supposed to see other people right now, but I think we should break up.
Oh,
Really?
I definitely, well, I did dump him for sure. Yeah,
Right.
it was fine. We're still friends.
Okay.
Me and dating though, I've never been like, oh, I want a boyfriend. Not in my recent years. Maybe when I was younger, but now I'm like, everybody's married, everybody's poly, everybody's a mess. So like, whatever. I think I'm interested in dating, but I'll get on the app and swipe around. I'm like, this person seems gay. Why is he on? Like, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Right.
The streets are weird. I wouldn't be against it, but I never actively look for that kind of stuff. Like even my ex, I thought he was a fan at a show, and it turned out he was a comic too. And I was like, oh, all right,
Uh,
well, let's. All
I thought it
right,
was romantic that you kept trying to do stand up just to talk to me the way
no.
I took the cello to talk to a chick in high school.
Well, it was supposed to be a one night stand. I was just visiting New
Okay.
York at the time for a festival, and I was leaving the next day. So I was like, "This is gonna be great. Get in and out."
Right.
And then that's not what happened. But I'm never like against it if something kind of happens, but I'm also not like I need to find love. Like I don't whatever.
Right. Is there do you do you look at, especially with the climate today,
Mm.
and I can guess your politics from your stand up, do you the way I see an American flag and it upsets me. I love the motif of American flag. I like it on I have a cool little logo on one of my t-shirts now. I won't wear that. I see somebody with
Mm-hmm.
we the people on our
Mm-hmm.
arm. That was supposed to mean something. Now I know who you are and I don't like you. Do
Yep.
you feel a way seeing white people for real? Like are you a idiot too? Do you think there shouldn't be kneeling in football, but the brain damage is fine?
I I think for me, certain white people, if you got like the "don't tread on me" stuff and like
Yeah.
super like Trump stuff, I'm not really interested in that. There was some guy who tried to match with me on Hinge. It was like Christian conservative. I was like,
Oh.
sir, what do you want with me exactly?
Oh, we can fuck. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you,
Yeah,
family first.
I was just confused. Like, you saw what I put on my bio. I'm
Right.
like, what do you want?
The FBI has reassigned several agents who were photographed kneeling during the protest over the killing of George Floyd nearly 5 years ago.
Huh.
They're reassigned to positions widely viewed as demotions. The transferred agents held senior roles in counterintelligence, counterterrorism, cyber crimes. Now they're like watching your subway and shit. The decision
Mm.
by the agents to take the knee was viewed by some as necessary to de escalate the demonstration, as several Floyd related protests turned violent that summer, and by others as a political statement. These agents were not ever trained, this is a quote, these agents were not ever trained to be in that situation, a former agent said. Riot control is not our mission. We're trained to de escalate. Yeah, it's either that or, hand over a can of Coke or something to make peace. But that was nice to see. I do remember that. The FBI Agents Association reportedly awarded the kneelers with $100 gift cards for their actions. Okay. But yeah, now you're in trouble 5 years later because of the Trump administration.
It's that's this is so exhausting, and it almost feels like I am taking a mental vacation. I'm living my best white life, where I'm like, I'm not even paying attention. I don't know. And all the white people are stressed out, being like, how come you guys aren't paying attention and
Right.
solidarity? I'm like, you had your chance to be in solidarity and you chose not to? I
Do,
don't
do
know.
you hear white people going, this is fucking nuts? It's like, yeah, and it's been. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but now it's just, now we know.
Yes, that's what's happening now. It's a lot of, I mean, probably people that have the same views as me are all complaining and upset about stuff, and I can't believe more people aren't talking about it. I'm like, "Psh, you should. I don't remember you talking about it a couple of years ago. I
Right.
don't remember seeing you saying that. Now you're mad that, yeah, well, you guys will figure it out. Go burn down a Sally Mae.
Do
Go
you,
get angry. You're
now
not angry enough.
is it more the same? And obviously that's sad as shit. Is it just more the same, or do you find yourself a little more nervous when you hear a news article and a white woman holding a kid yells at another kid happens to be black looking and is using the N word, and a black adult sees it, starts videotaping her. This is viral right now,
Yeah,
and
I know. I know
says,
what
"What are you
you're talking
doing?
about.
What are you doing
And she
calling that
makes
person?"
$300,000. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What are you
Hmm.
doing calling that person that? And then she says the word again. If that's how he's acting, that's how he's acting. Like you have no shame. Then goes on
Give, send, go.
Give Send Go, which is one of these crowdfunding things, and says, "Help me protect my family." And the picture, it's her also holding her baby, her kid, but sloppily like blurs out the face, like I'm trying to protect my kid too.
Hmm.
Raised over $250,000 so far.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
that's the fucking way. And the White House just tweeted out, "This is true." It's amazing. I have to keep saying this is true. The only DEI we support. This is the real White House. The only DEI we support: deport every illegal DEI.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like we for a lot of us who talked about Project 2025, it's in there.
Right.
That's it's not like I didn't vote for that. Yeah, you did. You just didn't read.
Well, I
So
didn't know I could put the whole PDF into like Chat GPT. I like they make these books so big, I don't read them. Even the WikiLeaks. I'm
yeah.
like, your problem was you gave me too much shit to read.
Yeah, but it's like people were talking about it. There was stuff
But
there.
yeah,
Oh,
of
he
course.
doesn't need it. He said that last time he had people that would stop him. Well, now he doesn't have those people. He's
Because
got
right,
worse people.
people are in such weird denial about hateful, horrible things, and I'll get to
Hmm.
the big story about your stand-up. But yeah, people aren't necessarily as supportive as they could be for horrible things because they don't want to think about the horrible things, even if the
Hmm.
horrible things happen to them.
Yeah, it's a the gymnastics. It's it's weird to watch people kind of try to figure out how to still not understand something. I don't know.
Right.
And that's why I'm like tuning out. Like if my even my mom, she's trying to talk to me about stuff. I'm like, girl, I'm not listening to that. I'm about to go to the gym. Like well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore because there was a lot. Like Trayvon Martin got killed. I was very very hard on Facebook and calling people out and all this stuff and being angry, 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 angry. And then fast forward all these years, you got Kyle Rittenhouse doing the same shit, shooting people, and
Right.
everybody's like, "This is a hero." It's like you guys don't listen. So I'm tired of y'all not
Yeah.
listening to us. You have to listen to people who look like you. I'd rather you take it from them than, but don't be mad at us for not saying stuff because we said stuff. You just
Right.
didn't want to hear it from us.
Well,
So
you know what?
I'm,
I mean, who knows what difference I'm making? But I would talk about these school shootings and
mm,
something I legitimately we can do about it. And then it
mm-hmm.
was Sandy Hook with the elementary school kids, and that made me so numb that now for real I'll be like, and seven people dead in an Oklahoma school. But hey, what can you
Yeah,
do about it? Next
yeah,
story.
yeah.
I
Thoughts and
okay.
prayers.
And then people are like, "Oh, you're numb." Like somehow that's ruining everything. What's
Yeah,
the fucking surprise?
yeah.
That's there.
We
What
don't
am I gonna
have.
do?
You guys keep voting the way you do, and the people in charge keep not doing anything. So
Right.
some of that's. What do you want me to do? I
I
can't.
like this point on the Twitter or X, whatever the fuck. This person's name is A Poet's Muse, and he says, "We better not see any of y'all orange cult bitches celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Be a white girl wasted on no margaritas. I mean, you will because of colonialism, but if you do, choke."
That's yes. That there. I saw a story recently about the president of Mexico. I forget her name. The Steinbaum.
Okay.
She's the female president of Mexico. There's all these Americans moving to Mexico and building fences around their houses on the beach to keep the natives from going to the beach. And she's like,
Mm,
we will have a tractor come by and tear down these beaches. You are not from Mexico. You can't
right.
come here and just make your own private island or private beach. You don't get
Right.
to do that here. And you can't separate yourself from the Mexican people here. You are in Mexico. So take your damn fences down and go back to the States and do that.
Right. You know what's that? I don't. I'm not a big political person per se. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know who the Mexican president is. If somebody says
It's a
this stuff,
lady.
if somebody said, I'd be like, is it a trick question? And is it prime minister? I don't know.
Ah,
So, but anyway, then there's people that know even less, and these are the voters. First of all, we know no
mm-hmm.
matter what side you're on, most people are stupid. We know that.
Yes.
Um, I have a brother that I sent a clip. We happened to be talking about Severance, and I saw SNL, and SNL did the Trump impersonator, and he's like, talking about the tariffs and the chart as these tariffs, but nobody remembers what these numbers mean. It's kind of like the numbers in Severance. Who knows? Anyway, and then
Yeah.
goes on. I thought it was funny because we were just talking about Severance. I sent the clip to my brother, and he goes, "Who wrote that? Who do you think wrote that Severance line for him?" And I go, "Well, he's not just the cast member; he's a writer. I'm going to guess it was himself." And he goes, "No way." And I go,
Oh God.
"Wait, wait, wait. Do you know that's not Trump?" And he tries to make some like excuse to be,
Oh
but like,
God.
"Hey, satire. I don't even know what's what anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're serious. You really thought Trump would make fun of himself, that people are really laughing uproariously at the perfect times." So there's, and he voted correctly. Don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
still, what other mistakes are you making that you did not know? It doesn't really look like him.
At all. Trump is 2'6'3", 215 or something like
That's
that.
right.
That guy's a machine.
Right. He's a football player.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? He had did an interview with somebody from NBC, and he was saying they had photoshopped MS-13 on that guy's hands who they deported illegally. And he was saying that MS-13 was actually on his hand tattooed.
Yes.
And then the interviewer was like, no, it's not.
And he was so kind to Trump too. He's like, "No, that's
Let's
not
change, yeah, change the subject.
let's
Let's
talk
move
about something else." But yes, that was fake. Like, why are you bullshitting me? Trump says.
He kept leaning in like,
Yeah.
Pete,
Literally leaning in. Yeah.
yeah, like, no, no, no. It's not implied. It
Right.
is what it said. And he was like, no, 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 that's Photoshop. No, it's not. It's it says that on his hand. He's like, no.
And then you got people going, "Well, he can't just say that, so it has to be true."
Yeah.
Well, he
And that's
can.
the problem. It's like people see him losing his complete mind and no one goes, you are a fucking idiot.
Yeah. This was tweeted on Truth Social from Donald J. Trump and on Twitter from the White House. It's, again, absolutely true. I'll put it at keithandthegirl.com.
Oh, yes, I
It's
saw that.
obviously Photoshop picture of Trump dressed as the new Pope, the Pope having died recently.
He wants to run for Pope.
What? What? Let's throw that at you. I already did these meme cards of me being a football player, me being a firefighter. I'm like,
Yes.
how come I didn't even think of Pope, but I thought of Superman? Quick, give me a Pope one. And they're like, President, you really are to have a sense of humor. No, do
There's an
it.
opening. There's an opening.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe I could be the Pope.
He's gonna
That'd
tell
be
people he
cool.
was Pope. It's gonna be in history books now.
And
Well, he
people be like,
was.
he was a really great Pope
Why
too.
would we have that
But
picture? Right. Really great.
he's so awful. And it's just like it's exhausting is the problem. Like
Yeah.
I can't really like if I'm never surprised anymore if he says something or does something like, yeah, he's dumb. Yeah, of
He's
course
he's
he did.
he's going to be the Pope. Then somebody's going to go, "Hey, can you tell me with the state of the world? It's kind of it's kind of scary. What's a good Bible verse that you like?" That's a little too personal for me. Anyway, the
He
body of
already did
Christ.
that.
Yeah, I know.
He did that when he was running in 2016. They
it's
were like, "What's your
it's.
favorite book?" He's like, I don't know, 2 Corinthians. I don't know. He has no idea.
Somebody was going through something in my life, and they said, "Please say a prayer for me." And I was like, "You know what? My dad says he literally talks to God in prayers, and I'd pray, but I'm afraid we'd run into each other, so that's why I don't pray too much."
No.
I
I always
saw,
say God's busy. He doesn't have time to
right.
hear.
I saw Veterans Day was trending, and I'm like, "It's not Veterans Day, is it?" And did
Mm,
you see why this was?
you got rid of it.
Many of our allies and friends, Trump wrote, are celebrating May 8th as Victory Day. But we did more than any other country by far in producing a victorious result on World War II. By the way, go
By
to
the
a
way,
Holocaust museum. We were way too fucking late. We were way too late. It was wrong. I'm hereby renaming May 8th as Victory Day for World War II and November 11th, which is Veterans Day, as Victory Day for World War One. We won both wars. Nobody was close to us in terms of strength, bravery, or military brilliance, but we never celebrate anything. What's Saving Private Ryan for a second? That's because we don't have leaders anymore that know how to do so. We're going to start celebrating our victories again.
Donald Trump is all about naming something and celebrating something. He don't want to do
Yes.
nothing. I want to sign something. It's fanfare. Watch
Right.
me sign this thing. Watch me name this thing. No one else is going to name it. But you know what? I'm going to name it. Watch me bring back these old, racist ass figures at the
Yeah.
naval bases. Because you know what? That's what I like to do. I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate. I want to sign shit. I want the cameras out. I want come watch me sign this piece of paper.
Right.
What's it for? That sounds like a big deal, actually. You hear what he said? Wow, I'm going to sign this. Bring the cameras in here. We got to celebrate because no one
Right.
celebrates harder than we do because we're the best at celebrating. Bring
It's
the
like
cameras in here.
it's like seeing a couple that shouldn't get married, but they got to get married, and you just want to be like, you could just have a party.
Yes, that's why I hate weddings. I don't go to them. I go to the reception, but I don't care about the
Sure.
jumping over the broom and the cry. I don't care. You're going to be
Right.
divorced in 10 years anyways.
I saw you heard Bill Maher.
Hmm.
I would say even if he likes to pretend he's censor or whatever the fuck, definitely more liberal in general. I would say. Anyway, by the way, this is funny. He happened to post an interview with somebody, and the headline was Bill Maher. This is from him. Bill Maher isn't a fan of Bob Dylan with Sammy Hagar, and somebody wrote, "What's the opposite of clickbait? Who gives a shit?" But anyway. Bill Maher ended up meeting the president, stayed with him, came back on his show and said, "You know what? I
Hmm.
met him. He's a real person. Yes,
Hmm.
I've criticized him throughout, but you guys don't know the real him. Well, I think that's his
Mm.
job to let us know." And yeah, because what did he do? He didn't kick you in the dick. He
Right.
was cordial to you. The food was good, and you had a couple laughs. That's what happened.
I saw him laugh. I never see him laugh out here, but I made him laugh inside the house. I was like, well, what were
Right,
you saying to make him laugh? Somebody got beat up or something. He likes when someone's being brutalized. He
right.
thinks that's funny.
So that's what Bill Maher's doing, I guess. It's just his way of saying, just so you know, I even made this fucking guy laugh, and I've been shitting on him all the time. Wonder
Well,
if
you
it's
know what's
that.
funny is he's mad at Larry David because Larry David had wrote a satirical letter about his dinner with Hitler,
It is so
and
good.
I know. And then now Bill Maher's like mad that like he's making fun of him, like, oh, he's actually kind of nice. Did you see his paintings? Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. The dinner is the dinner. The thing that the Larry David of Curb Your Enthusiasm wrote is called My Dinner with the Fuhrer. And
Yes.
it talks about a guy in, those days having meeting Trump for the first time. And I'll just read a little bit of this, but you can Google Larry David Fuhrer.
Hmm.
He was wearing a tan suit with a swastika armband and gave me an enthusiastic greeting that caught me off guard. Frankly, it was a warmer greeting than I normally get from my parents, and it was accompanied by a slap on my back. Obviously, he's making fun of Bill Maher meeting Trump. I found the whole thing quite disarming. I joked that I was surprised to see him in a tan suit, get it? Because if he wore that out, it would be perceived as unfuhrer like. That amused him to no end, and I realized, talking about Obama, of course, and I realized I'd never seen him laugh before. Suddenly he seemed so human. Here I was, prepared to meet Hitler, the one I've seen and heard, the public Hitler. But the private Hitler was a completely different animal, and oddly enough, this one seemed more authentic. Like this was the real Hitler. The whole thing had my head spinning. Then it goes on a little bit, the final paragraph. 2 hours later, the dinner was over, and the Fuhrer escorted me to the door. I'm so glad to have met you. I hope I'm no longer the monster you thought I was. I must say, mein Fuhrer, I'm so thankful I came. Although we disagree on many issues, it doesn't mean that we have to hate each other. And with that, I gave him a Nazi salute and walked out into the night. So good.
Yeah, he's not happy about that.
Yeah, good. It's fucking genius. By the way, speaking of that whole group over there, I found it funny that Christy Noem, the
Oh
Department
God.
of Homeland Security Secretary, Noem, Christy Noem,
Yeah.
she was in Washington, D.C. A restaurant on Easter, and somebody, I don't know how they chatted her up, or just grabbed and took it, but somebody stole her Louis Vuitton bag,
Mm-hmm. Three
which had
thousand dollars in
a
cash in
Gucci
there.
purse. How much did you say?
$3,000.
$3,000 in cash and the bag and a Louis Vuitton wallet. Her driver's license, medication, apartment keys, passport, her DHS access badge, Department of Homeland Security badge, a makeup bag, blank checks, and about $3,000 in cash. Okay, good job, security captain. Why would you carry all that shit in your bag? Plus, I hope without her license, she can't vote.
I mean, I think the new rule now is if your birth certificate doesn't match your driver's license, you can't vote. So
Yeah.
she's married, so she probably can't vote
All
anyways.
right. Now, in this show, highly intelligent, which
Yes.
again, fantastic, it starts with a warning.
Yes.
It says, you're about to laugh your fucking balls off.
Mm.
Bring your friends in no matter what they went through. Now, you say warning. This comedy special contains discussions of sexual abuse, rape, and sexual assault. While these topics are approached through humor, we recognize that they are deeply personal and may be distressing to some viewers. If you or someone you know has been affected by sexual violence, support is available. Please consider reaching out to a trusted friend, professional resource, or crisis hotline. Viewer discretion is advised. And I do appreciate a warning like that. Me, I didn't have like horrific things that so many people had to go through. So sometimes like a movie would come on and it gives you those warnings up top. And I'm
Hmm.
like, great, now I'm just waiting for a fictional rape. Can
Mm.
we,
Yeah.
But of course I get it, and it's quite fine.
Hmm.
I'll be okay. Did you think of that on your own? Did somebody say, "Hey, this is the way things are"?
Um,
That we do give these warnings?
my director asked if I wanted something like that, and I thought we should because
Okay,
when we taped it, there were people that were visibly uncomfortable while I was doing that part of the show,
right.
and I thought, and some people were crying afterwards, like after the show was over, people were like legit.
Hmm.
So I was like, this, if they're not prepared for something like that, I at least have to warn them that hey, you might hear something about this,
You even say in
and
the stand-up, you go, and okay, we're about 40 minutes in. Here we go.
yeah, yeah. Um, So I thought it was important to at least put that there so people can either choose to watch it or not. But I hate when someone's like, "You didn't say trigger warning." It's like it's
Well, you know what's
coming.
funny too? I get some if somebody says to me like you didn't say trigger warning, and I'm like I think I used some big words in the description of the show before you press play. But anyway,
Mm,
blah blah blah, and they go, no, I'm not a prude. I was saying for other people it might be good. I'm like, oh really? Because the first letter was kind of
uh,
hateful, and
oh,
meanwhile you didn't even care. That's what's funny.
right.
Or you cared, but it's miss whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I I think. I mean, even stuff that I've seen before, I'm like, "Ooh, I didn't realize this would bother me." Sometimes you see
Right.
stuff and you don't even know that that's a thing that hits you in a certain way. So sometimes you just have to make sure you cover all the bases and then let them
Sure.
decide if they want to
You did
go with you.
so a couple years ago, you wrote an article for Medium, a couple
Mhm.
articles, but this is the one I'm talking about, obviously.
Yeah,
It's called
yeah.
It's Time to Tell My Side of the Story.
Hmm.
I love that. And a couple days ago, I was saying Shanna Christmas is going to be on and hilarious, et cetera, et cetera. But she ends up naming the abuser, who's a fellow comic. And I said, I can't imagine what that's like. And then I think for a second, I go, actually, I could. It's
Hmm.
2025. You hear enough women talking. You can't imagine what she's going through a little bit. Why don't
Hmm.
women speak up? I think we know by now. You know, fucking guys don't even speak up. They say,
No.
why don't women speak up? Then I have a guest or two on talking about the Louis C.K. article, and they're not saying what they said behind the scenes to me. They're like,
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't want to talk about it. Some said I don't even want to talk about it, even though that's the topic of the day. And it's like,
mm,
okay, but you don't know why Weinstein women didn't say
yeah.
something right away. But
And
you're
even
nervous he's not going to take you to Madison Square Garden, you fucking loser.
yes, they're all that was the big learning lesson for me. Like dudes are cowards. Like they want you to come forward and go through all the hard stuff and they hope the police will take care of it. It's like, well, the police
Right.
did take care of it, and you're still looking at me like, I'm not really sure.
Like I'm trouble.
Yeah. They just don't want to have to do anything, is all. There's no um I don't want to be the one to ruffle any feathers. It's
Yeah.
like this guy's not gonna give you an opportunity, by the way.
I don't know if you know of the comedian Pat Dixon, but
Mm-mm.
women were telling me multiple stories about him being a sexual assaulter in
Mm.
detail. And he was a regular guest on Keith and the Girl. And I'm like, he did anyway. So I'm like, he's pushing it somehow. And I got to say something. I got to say something on the show. And
Mm.
I said, all, these women are saying this, not too much, not detail, because they didn't want to be named, but like, this is happening. And, we can't talk or be friends or anything like this. And then he said, you know what? I can sue you through some different avenue.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and I go, do it. Because the women
Yes.
also said if I get in trouble somehow, then they're willing to come out and shut it down, which
Yep.
good. And thank you. And that's a fair trade for me. But yeah, I of course I understand why you didn't want to say, because we've seen what happens when people do it. What did you do? Et cetera, et
Mm.
cetera. Can't comics just be comics? They're a little edgier than regular people. And who needs to fucking deal with that? Who needs to
Right.
brought up when you're just trying to do another show again? You run into this comic all the time. It's uncomfortable for you, even though you're in the complete right.
Yeah. Um, the I'm going to sue you part. It's so funny because it's like, first off, you need money to do so, and also you've been
Right.
threatening to sue me for years. I'm still waiting. If I was a
Right.
liar, you should have an easy open and shut case. I've named you online. If you search his name, my article comes up before his pages show up.
Good.
Like that's his name is tied to that article, not his Instagram, not his stand up. It's me. So if he wants to sue, I can't wait.
And you know what they do sometimes? Did this person do it? And I'll read a little of this article if you don't mind. But I said he's a sexual assaulter, all this. And then Pat Dixon tries to like cover it up by doing this thing that people do. Oh, watch out, guys. I'm going to rape you. I guess I'm a rapist. I'm like, A, I didn't say that. B, probably.
Yeah. Now I've heard that that's what he's been doing recently. Like I met a new female comic out here a couple months ago, and she was like, "Oh, I met that guy," and he was pretty much saying, I guess I'm the rapist. My name is Diaz, and I guess I'm a rapist or whatever."
Right.
And I'm like, "Is that how
I
he's
guess.
introducing himself to people? Because
It,
that's bad."
is it Diaz? I don't want to say it wrong. That I
It's
have to be
Diaz.
polite. Diaz
That's
Mackey.
that's the name he gave himself.
You point out his real name is Rudolph Mackey. Do you think he deliberately changed his
Randolph.
Randolph? Excuse me, Randolph.
Yeah.
No offense to the other Mackey I made up. Um, do you think he changed his name because you found out that he had multiple sexual assault charges before, right?
Well, I didn't find that out. When I reported it, the detective had to do some digging because the name Diaz doesn't show up. So he took the phone number and kind of traced it to his actual name. And when he found the real name, there was all these prior arrests that he had from that.
Sexual assault misdemeanor closed, citation closed, misdemeanor dismissed, felony bound over to district court, whatever that means. Sex assault, sex assault, sex assault, sex assault,
Yeah,
battery,
that one's
domestic
me.
violence. I
All
know
the
that's
sex
what I'm
assault ones
saying.
are
Yeah,
me. The battery, domestic violence is somebody else.
right.
But like that stuff, I didn't know he was charged with because he doesn't go by Randolph Mankey. He goes by Diaz. So,
Force or threat of force, A/sex. I don't know if that means regarding sex or what, but
hmm,
is that an A or an E? Anyways,
I don't know.
but yes, there's a history. There's a history is my fucking point. And what bothers me about it is I saw you put another post up of some kind saying I got to. So I go to a show and the booker knows the story,
Hmm.
put Diaz on the same show. And, am I saying this right? And then plays dumb like, hey, I don't know. We're just blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker. I'm
Yeah.
not lying. So what
Hmm.
don't you fucking know? I talked
Hmm.
about Pat Dixon and in detail and all this. And these two people I'm going to bring up, believe me, absolutely.
Hmm.
But They've still done podcast. Ray DeVito, Liam McEnany. They still did podcasts with him. I talked to Liam recently on the show. I'm like, hey, let's talk about this thing. How do you still do you think I'm lying? And he goes, oh, I don't know. It was late. I was lonely, and I'm trying not to drink again or something. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Cowards.
And we know what's going on. Cowards.
That's
I
it.
want to pretend everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of goes with when even though something bad happened to somebody, they act like the bad thing didn't happen to anybody. Pamela Anderson was raped
Mm-hmm.
multiple times. She's been open with that. Harvey
Mm-hmm.
Weinstein came out and she goes, "These women are lying." It's like, what are you doing? Does that make your rape less?
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing was so bad for anybody. So why make it like a big deal, even though you made it a chapter in your book?
Mm-hmm. It's it's the most frustrating part is to be somebody who did do what they said to do. Go to the police. I did. He got arrested. I did all the
Right.
stuff, and you're still treating me like I'm the problem. You're still looking at me like I'm making you weird. It's like this is what I just learned recently because I've been home for a little bit now, and I've been having altercations with people from the past who know what's up and are
Right.
still kind of on the fence about it. And I'm like, you don't get high fives or how you doing or any civility from me when I know that when you face this person, you were nice to him as well,
Right. Agreed.
knowing what he did. So when you ask me, how come you blocked me? Because you don't get to have access to me. You suck.
Right.
I don't want to be friends with somebody who doesn't have my back when I'm right. I can see if I did something wrong, and
Right.
you're over here like, well, I'm not his friend. Yes, and you're not mine either. So you don't get to do both. You got to figure it out.
How long was the process? Do I name this real guy's name? Diaz Mackey, real name Randolph. Do you
Mm.
take a second? Like, I know I'm going to get some hassle. I do know the world's shitty, but I simply have to because you don't own that over me. What was the process?
Well, the incident happened in 2015, so it took me 2 years.
Okay.
And my issue was that I was in Vegas, then I moved to LA, and he was going back and forth between Vegas and LA, so I would still see him, and it was awkward. I didn't want to keep seeing him. Then I moved to New York in 2017. And I thought, this is going to be fine. I won't see him anymore. But then I'm on Facebook seeing him with my friends in pictures. And I'm like, I got to at least tell my friends, hey, man, this guy sucks. He
Yeah.
did this to me. And so I just said, fuck it. I'm just going to say something. And that was like in April of 2017. And once I said it, people were in my DMs like, what happened? Of course, everybody wants to know the fucking details so they
Sure.
can decide if you were actually assaulted or
Right.
not. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you details. Just know that's what he did. And I'm going to go to the police. And people said that when I said I'm not going to tell you the details, they assumed that I was making it up. They kind of
Mm.
dismissed me at that point.
Right.
So between April and I think maybe June, I was trying to figure out how to file charges from across the country. So I couldn't figure that out. And I finally did. And I talked to the detective. He did all his work and he found them. And when I sent him the screenshots, he was like, I asked Diaz over the phone if these were his screenshots. And he said, yes. He could
Right.
have just said she photoshopped that or whatever, right? He
Right.
could have just no, I didn't do that. That's not my phone number. But he admitted to the that being him in the conversation. And so they arrested. I think the warrant went out in like August, and then they arrested him August, September, maybe.
Right.
And then Me Too happened October.
Oh, funny.
The whole movement started in October. We
Right.
were like, believe women. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
me,
Did
me
I make
too,
the cut?
earlier. Oh,
Yeah.
did not. They didn't give a shit about it. And even now, people are still like, no one said, I'm sorry that happened to you. People are still kind of like, being around Shauna makes me feel weird because it reminds me of what I didn't do back then. And so instead of them being accountable and being like
Right.
that, I was fucked up and I didn't have your back and I should have supported you. It's just, you know, I'm not nice to him. I'm not his friend.
Right.
Okay.
Why not then? You know what I mean? So interesting. Why aren't you? Because
you
this is
don't,
true that shit that happened. Nobody was uh no I thought like I'd be talking about another popular enough, especially in our circle, this comic Pat Dixon. And I'm like, we thought like this might hurt us booking comedians, but it's like,
mm,
no, we can't care. Me and Kenda obviously discussing it first.
mm,
Um, I only got like one phone call from the comedian Mark Norman. He's like, hey, maybe it's comedy and that's its own world, and maybe you should keep it there and not put somebody on blast. And I go,
no.
do you see Pat Dixon in clubs? Is you don't see what the fuck I'm you don't it's just obvious. You don't see what the fuck I'm hearing. And he goes, yeah, actually he's getting worse. And I go, then what the fuck are we talking about?
Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You being a person who speaks out makes everybody who's not speaking out feel a certain way about what they're doing or not doing.
Well, that's
So
what
they
they're
rather
not doing.
you be, yes, they rather you stop than them
Then
go,
they
you
don't
know
have
what?
to, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
I
yes,
gave him
yes.
I gave him a job too, right?
Let's
Yeah.
all pretend it didn't happen so we don't have to do anything. Why is Shauna here cussing me out? I'm not
Right.
nice to the guy. He didn't try to rape me. Why would I have to warn anybody? That's what somebody told me. I
Right.
didn't say anything when I first met you. I knew he was kind of creepy, but I didn't warn you because he didn't try to rape me, so I didn't want to say anything.
Right.
Why would he try to rape you, sir? He doesn't do that.
Does it now in that disclaimer you say, "Hey, this is about sexual assault and rape." In this article, I believe, I read it a while ago. Um, but in your stand-up, you don't say rape, you say sexual assault.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Is that a move? It's rape.
No, because there's like a, I forget, there's like a diagram where they show you the different
What's
levels
his
of
dick
what
inside you?
it was. Yes.
Okay. Okay. You said no multiple times? Okay.
Yeah.
You were raped.
But okay. Um, so there's
I don't
different,
mean to yell at you. I'm just
yeah.
I
Hold on, Keith. um, there are different levels of what they constitute legally, what that is.
Right.
And so I don't think what that was rape for me, is what I'm saying.
Do does
I'll have to send you what it is, but I don't think that's what the courts, if you were to go to court, what that looks like, it wouldn't be what that was.
do people downplay it also because it's like sounds like she's just saying sexual assault and what could that be? Because I would
It's
not
not,
think it's a dick inside. I'm
I'm
just
not,
telling you. I mean, we're not lawyers or judges. I'm just saying personally the way I would think. I would think that's up there.
I, I'm not sure if no one's downplaying anything. I'm not calling it rape because that's not what
Okay.
legally it was. And so no one's downplaying it because that's not what I'm calling it.
Okay.
We're all calling it the same thing or whatever, but it's not, I'd have to send you what that thing is.
No, I
But
follow that. I
yeah,
really
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Hope it didn't come
yeah.
off rude. New Year's Eve in 2014, after a night involving alcohol and first time cocaine use. So right there, does some people go, great, cocaine.
Hmm.
God damn it. The victim clearly said no, but you know, blah, 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 you're being ignored and all that. And then, are you comfortable if I read some of these texts or not?
I don't want you to read them actually.
Could I tell people where to see this article if they can't?
Yes, if they want to read it, I would prefer them to read it, but I don't.
Okay, sure, I
Yeah,
understand. It's
yeah,
unnerving. So look up Medium and look up my side of the story, and you can even
yeah.
type in the name
If you link it
Diaz.
into your in the
Yeah, I could.
description, you can just do
Yes,
that.
I will do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, good for you that you got him saying shit and I'm again I understand why women don't talk. I think we all do, and I it's nothing short of brave, and
Yeah.
it's good for the world. I mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, you know, repeating it or whatever it's traumatic. They just had a woman talking about being grilled by Harvey Weinstein's lawyers, and you know, she said her piece of what happened in this hotel room, but she's like, "Don't you tell me I wasn't fucking molested and raped," and leaves the stand crying. Yes, of course, it's not fucking easy. Why don't
Yeah.
women
It's
speak up? Fucking idiots.
yeah.
The Virginia Giuffre, who
Mm-hmm.
was fucked on Epstein
Epstein.
Island by Prince Andrew, among other people. She's underage. Not that that matters, but it does. She killed herself, or suicide
Mm-hmm.
happened to her. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
who's fucking surprised?
Yeah.
God damn. Puff Diddy, I think this is good news. He just denied a last minute plea deal from prosecutors. Good. His lawyers are like, this is, there's no way that he did this
Oh
shit.
wait, they offered him
Motherfucker,
a
I
plea
saw
deal?
they offered him a plea deal and he won't take it. He's really
Oh,
sticking to the story, even though we saw that abusive video.
he wants to go to trial. That's gonna be bad.
I think it's going to be bad, which is good.
That's not a good idea.
Right.
That's stupid.
I love it. Maybe the lawyers against him.
But he's also tampering with witnesses. I heard that like when people are calling in, he's telling them not to talk and shit like that. So there's probably it's not good.
Right. Well, I'll follow. That's coming up on Monday, I think.
Oh,
Um, Mel Gibson is allowed to carry a gun. He wasn't allowed to before because,
yeah.
because he was abusive to his girlfriend at the time. And he said, I hope
Mm,
you get, raped by a bunch of black guys,
mm.
but it didn't say black guys. I will shoot you with my gun and bury you in the rose garden. Don't think I'm joking. I know people that'll do that. Like, all right, you're a little too much. We got to take your gun away. Well, time went by. He can have his gun again now.
Yes. Donald
What
Trump gave
what's once you're on tape with all that shit, I don't think you ever get a gun. Or
The
let me
law
hear what
says
you
you
learned.
can. There,
What,
you don't have to.
right.
That's the new law now.
Uh,
All is well. We don't protect women.
You got to ask him, like, before you give the gun, do you still have the rose garden?
They didn't ask anything. They just
Right.
said, this stuff is lifted. You can just get a gun. There's no coming in and chatting with us before they give it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about this? This is completely different. Don't get me wrong. I do think it was an accident on set, but that movie Rust with Alec
Mm,
Baldwin and the cinematographer died. The movie was finished. In fact, the movie is out right
it's
now
out. Yeah.
in barely any theaters, but it's on video on demand for only $5.99.
Oh.
What a deal. So they know not to start at 20. They know that.
Uh,
They know it's controversial as is.
nobody wants to watch it though. I've never even seen a trailer for it. So it's hard to
Right.
charge more than $5 for it if you don't even put any marketing materials.
Is it should they have just moved on because there was a death that made such a big news, or you have other people that are artists too and directors, and they're getting together, and the other actors, and they're saying, "Let's do it for the art." This woman
What
who's dead put a lot of time into it.
didn't they do a reality show? The Baldwins
The
too?
ball, which is horrible timing. He does look like a piece of shit, and so that we feel
Yeah.
sorry for him somehow. It was
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Um, I don't know how you move on from that, to be honest. I don't know what that meeting looked like. I guess they put a lot of money into it, and maybe
Right.
they discussed something with her family. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about putting it out. And maybe they didn't even ask everybody else. Maybe some executive was like, put it out anyways. You know
There's
what I
a
mean?
they I saw a documentary on it that was well done. Usually these things leave out a lot of shit, and it seemed that everybody was on board and agreed to keep it going. But it's
Oh, okay.
still interesting if you're in the movie theater and you're like, I can tell
The
this
one
is where
night.
it's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
What if they have all there's it's a western, so all these gun shootings, right? And that
Oh,
yeah, that's why he had a gun. And he goes into it's supposed to be a prop gun, not real bullets, but they had real bullets, whatever. So there's this scene where he shoots at somebody, and that kills the cinematographer. When he fires, so do they redo that scene? And he just uses finger guns and goes bang bang, and the other guy's, oh, you got me, and then the rest of it is real guns. Like, how do you have to get rid of that scene altogether?
I don't know. I feel like when they shot Brandon Lee in The Crow, they figured out, isn't that what happened? They still made the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So I feel like they just kind of kept that same. I don't know. You'd have to pay the $6 and tell us what they did.
You know what? I will. I hope I don't sound like a creep, but I absolutely will. What you got
Don't
to
you?
do though, I guess in this movie, you ever see the A Team or something like this where
No.
they would kill you'll get the gist. They would run the bad guy's car off the road and the guys go over a ditch. And almost like a cartoon, you see him stand up behind a sand dune, all black all over the face and
Yeah.
dizzy, like, oh, you got me. That's what they have to do in Rust, like a football player on a stretcher. Thumbs up,
Oh,
but my
thumbs up.
character's done. Don't
Well, then
worry, though.
is it a Western or is it a comedy?
It's a
What is it?
Western,
Is it?
action Western. It's not going to be like, Blazing Saddles or something.
No, maybe they could have done it
They
that
should
way.
change the whole thing and it's a a raunchy comedy.
Somebody get Mel Brooks on the line. We can fix this. He's only 100 years old.
Right.
He could pull it off.
46% on Rotten Tomatoes for the movie Rust.
Is that what's a good number on Rotten Tomatoes?
100, over 80, 70 is
Oh,
still
okay.
okay. 46 is not good. But I
Ooh.
think it's what you said. I think people are just a little too gun shy to take it all in. Ah, shit, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
hey, I knew it could get more controversial today. The special is called Highly Intelligent. And you bring up the point that this ironically are the types of people that people take advantage. So that what? So that you question, is it my fault? So you see, I have to see all sides. I have a smart brain.
Yeah, I feel like people that are just easily like when people are like, "Oh, he didn't try to rape me," it's like, "Well, you're not a challenge." You know what I mean? Like
Right,
maybe you just fuck him and he's bored with that. Who knows? Like,
right,
and also, why are you telling me that? Yeah, that's just something I use to kind of flip it on itself. So
right,
we all don't feel like horrible people for being violated. So
right. She does it more detailed, like I said, on that Medium article, tell the story. And of course, in the stand up, she talks about it. And with that said, I swear to God, this special is very, very funny. And it's very brave, and all those words are not superlatives. It's excellent, and
thank
it's
you.
very nice meeting you. Thank you so much for sharing it, and thank you so much for your time. You're great.
Thanks, Keith.